Hey handy people, Dan here. Hey, in the background here I got my Saffron wagon, and at this time of night that color just glows. Anyways, I wanted to share with you, I love this car. I love the fact that it's a manual. I love the fact that it's got a great engine in that B5244t5 motor. And those motors are great as far as power and everything, but they're also very reliable. I mean, I'd get in, I trust this thing, I'd take it anywhere. However, they have to be taken care of. And one of the first and simplest steps is making sure you got good plugs in them and the correct plugs. So let me show you how I do that. Come on. Okay, getting ready for putting the new plugs in my B5244t5 motor, and I removed the over the engine pipe. I removed the plastic covers, the engine covers, and now I'm set to remove the spark plugs. And these plugs have about 29,000 miles on them. The idea here is to break them loose, and these they're coming right out, and the reason why is I use anti-seize, and that really makes a nice difference. You can notice I'm not using much pressure, and I'm doing it by hand. Never put these in by any other means, always by hand. And I'm sure there's a specific torque value, although I've done spark plugs for quite a few years, and I know how to make it. I know how tight to make it, I should say. And I'm just taking these out, loosening them up, and they're coming right out. Now, when I took the plugs out of this engine, when I first got the engine, they were very difficult to get out. They were very tight the whole way. This one's a little snug, but again, I'm using a short-handled 1/2-inch socket wrench, and these are coming right out like you'd like them to. If you've ever had one break off, which I have, in one of these aluminum blocks, it can be hours of work to fix, and you got to be extremely careful that you don't ruin the threads in the aluminum block. So my reasoning for using the anti-seize supports is to ensure that doesn't happen again. I've worked on these 4T5 motors, a fair amount probably. I think I've owned 4 or 5 of them. So, yeah, the S60R that we bought, the plugs were stuck and they were the wrong length. That's the other piece. Make sure you get the correct plugs for either the S60R, V70R 2004 to 2007, or the S60 T5, because this has the same head as the R motor. This 4T5 motor, because this motor is actually out of an S60 T5, but it's and then I just spin them out by hand when done. And the nice part about the socket I'm using is that it holds them in, because it's got a little foam retainer. These plugs actually, they look pretty darn good. I don't know if you can see them. I hope you can, but yeah, they look good. I'm pleased. I like to use the package that they come in, and I use it as a tray. I cut the cardboard off, and I keep the clear packaging because it nests the plugs nicely. And then I use that to, when I put the anti-seize on them, And then I'll also use it to keep track of which plugs I pulled out of which hole by keeping this oriented this way. And I'll put the used plugs and replace them into the same spot. The same spot in this little holder that I've made out of the packaging. Okay, there the plug bottomed out. I'll put the old plug there. Plug bottomed out. I'll give it a quarter turn. Snug it down, and I'm on to the next one. Plugs look good so far, which is always encouraging, but I did a full stage zero to this engine prior to installing it. So I guess that diligence pays off. Plus it was a low mile engine. It was a sub 100,000 mile, just about 100,000. We'll call it 100,000 for sake of argument. It was a junkyard pull. Traveled about 3.5 hours to a junkyard that actually an LKQ that had one, and another enthusiast friend tipped me off to it, and yeah, it's a beauty. Runs like it's supposed to, as long as I take care of it, of course. And that's on me. The B5244t5 motor is truly a gem. And when you couple it with an M58 in an all-wheel drive P80 car like my 98 Saffron, it's quite a car. Thanks for watching.